Hey everyone, Nick here from another BookTube channel, and today I'll be reviewing What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. What Moves the Dead is a retelling of the story The Fall of the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe. It's not really a modern retelling, although it is, I guess, slightly modernized in comparison to the original, which was written in the 1830s, whereas this story is written to take place in about the 1890s. So it has been updated a little bit, but there's no iPhones here. It is still written in that traditional Gothic atmosphere and environment. The story setup does follow the original short story pretty closely. The narrator, here named Alex Easton, who goes with Con pronouns, receives a letter from Con's childhood friend Madeline, basically asking Con to come visit her because she's very sick. And upon arriving at the House of Usher, Easton finds that not only is Madeline incredibly sick, but so is her brother Roderick. And that's about as much as I can really get into without spoiling anything else. So needless to say, once Con arrives there, trying to figure out the what's actually affecting them, starts to reveal some really weird goings-on around the House of Usher. And I really liked this story. I read the original short story again. Actually, I think I read it for the first time in preparation. There's a chance I read the original a long time ago and just didn't remember it. So I read it, The Fall of the House of Usher, in preparation for this. Short story, about like 10-15 pages long. And it's good, but it's very dense with that old English language. So it could be hard to follow, even though it was really short. It took me like an hour to get through because I kept having to go back to the top and just starting over. I didn't have that problem here. The writing here is a lot more accessible and modernized, but it still retains that, like I said, that Gothic tone. What Kingfisher set out to do here, and what works really well, is taking elements and ideas from the original short story and expanding on them greatly so that there's like an explanation as to how they may factor in to the sickness of the Usher family and the decrepitude of the Usher estate. The excuses and explanations that Kingfisher provides that explain what's going on are effectively scary, and I can see this particular version of this story working well as an adaptation in a visual medium. I think there's a lot of good opportunities here for scary imagery. Even just the way it's described here, I found myself getting a little grossed out, a little skeeved just from reading the words. So for a book that's really only 158 pages long, that's trying to scare you, it was effective. It does an effective job of telling a good, creepy little story that's gonna get under your skin. I would also like to take a moment just to show like how well put together the book is. Like, I really like the design of everything. The cover is really great, but more than just the cover, the end paper art by Ursula Vernon is really great. I think this sets the mood perfectly for the interior story. I love when any book publisher goes that little bit of the extra mile to give us a little bit more flavor of the story. The back end paper is the same thing, just mirrored. Would have been cool to maybe get a second illustration there, but the fact that we have anything on the end papers is awesome. So just kudos to the publisher for getting some great artwork to show us as well. I don't have a lot else to say about the book. It's very short, it's very efficient, it's very effective. I think it is something that can be read basically in a day and you get a really good experience out of it. I don't think if you're a Poe fanatic, you'll find the story to be particularly like offensive to the memory of Edgar Allan Poe. I think it does a good job of respecting the original story and just expanding on it a little bit. I don't think in the end that this like replaces the story in any way. I think that the original story has a lot of value in the mystery not being explored too much and it being an open question at the end. So both still able to stand on their own, but if you have trouble with the very dense language of the original, reading this is a good way to kind of experience a classic in a modern way. So that basically wraps up my thoughts on What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. Oh my god, I forgot to assign an arbitrary and subjective grade to the book while filming this. So I'm just gonna say now, 8 out of 10? Did you read this book? Did you like it? How did you feel about it in regards to its relationship with the original short story by Poe? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for spending some time with me today, but now it's time to get back to reading.